Smooth family. What's good? It's been a minute. It's been a good little minute since y'all seen me on here. Your boy been doing a bunch of other stuff. Y'all already know them with sickle show and stuff like that. But we back. We back. I miss y'all. I appreciate y'all for being patient with me. My dad been doing his thing, his podcast and stuff like that. I appreciate y'all for showing love to him. And I appreciate, the welcome back. It feels good to be back. It's been a good minute. But we're gonna jump right into this. What's good, Smooth family? It's your boy Be Smooth. You can't be smooth, then you gotta move. And this is Smooth Talk. I'm your host, Brandon, aka Be Smooth. My father, Carl, aka Papa Smooth. We're gonna do this. For today's topic, we're gonna be talking about, is it okay to outgrow people? Is it okay to outgrow people? Me personally, I feel like it's okay. I don't see no issue with it, honestly. But that's just me. But not everybody feel that way, though. Some people look at you like you fake. Might look at you like you acting funny. Whatever the case may be. So it just depends when it comes to that. How you feel about it?
Well, you will outgrow people. So that's just life. That's life in general.
Mm-hmm.
It get to a point where you will go ahead. Most people will still be in the same place that they were when they met you sometime.
Yeah.
That's just facts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never understood why people get in their feelings whenever you do outgrow them. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's nothing bad about outgrowing people. So I don't see how it's an issue. But a question that I have is, how does outgrowing people affect you mentally? How does it affect you mentally? And when I ask that, I'm not just asking my father or myself, that I'm asking everybody on here. Because I want to see y'all thoughts on it as well. But how does outgrowing people affect you mentally? To me, it can be, it's a good thing, but also it can be exhausting at times, just for a simple fact of like you having to make a whole shift, or it might not be a big shift, it can just be like a slight shift, but you realizing that you're going to have to either separate yourself from some people, maybe have to cut them off, or you might just, still be cool with them, but you might not hang around them as much as you used to. Look at the exhausting thing as well. We have some technical difficulties.
I don't know, but probably because he ain't been back in a while.
Probably.
But ask that question again, because I was looking at see what's going on with this thing.
Oh, how does outgrowing people affect you mentally?
Mentally, sometimes it can ease your mind. It can ease you personally. It can ease you in your life. It could make your life even better sometimes. Just don't know. Me personally, I just moved on with my life and everything else just fell into place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just life. You put it that way, that's just life.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, it is draining at times, especially when you hang around certain people. Because you got to ask yourself, when you go around certain people, if you feel drained and exhausted and, you feel like you're out of place or misunderstood, you might want to reconsider hanging around them type of people. Just for your sanity and your mental state.
Yeah.
Because it's not good for you. If you always exhausted hanging around them, it's not going to be no good for you. And like I said, at this point, it kind of ties into it. It's like, do you feel energized or drained after spending time with certain people? It depends on who the person is, honestly.
Yep.
It really depends. Yeah. There's people I've been around to where I felt drained, or I've been around people that completely that energy out of me. They bring the best out of me. You got the ones that bring the worst out of you, or they try to at least. So I've been around. I've been around both. What about you?
I, yeah, I've been around both, and even now, seeing some of the people that I used to hang around with, they're still in that same old place. Or you'd be like, man, I thought you were grown up by now, but they haven't. Plus, we have a pole up in the corner. It's on my left hand side, might be on your right hand side. You know, is it okay to outgrow people? It's yes, no, or maybe, or all the above. I mean, I hate the old saying how they say, don't forget where you come from. That's something you will never forget anyway. I don't even know why they want to keep trying to remind you of that. You'll never forget that anyway. And it's just sometimes people just want to stay right there. Um, Not saying you're better than anyone, not saying that I'm better than anyone, but sometimes when you grow older and more mature, your level of thinking is supposed to change or should change. It should change as you get older because you're getting more mature. And but some people they don't. They just right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that you know same age as me, older than both me and you, and they still haven't grown up yet, which is sad to see. Because like you still doing the same old. It could be 5, 10, 20, maybe 30 years and went by however long it's been. And you just like, man, you still doing this? Like this ain't exhausting to you. This you don't get tired of doing this. You like being this way. And if that's what a person like to do, then by all means do you. That's your life. We can't tell you what to do. We can't tell you how to live your life. But you might want to like, really reflect on your life and really think about it. Like, is that really how you want to live? Mm.
Exactly. How do you want to live? Do you want to live your life in peace? Let me just go straight on that question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want your life to be peaceful?
No,
Seriously,
seriously.
let me just ask you like that. Do you want your life to be peaceful, or do you like a whole bunch of drama? If you like a whole bunch of mess, and if that's the case, then you see why your life could be out of whack with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. You definitely will see it. And you have to accept this is a point right here is you're gonna lose some friends, family, and maybe even a relationship when it comes to outgrowing people. You might as well go ahead and accept that now. It is hard to accept that. I'm not gonna say how like it is easy to do. Depending on your relationship to a person, it can be easy, it can be difficult, or it can be extremely hard to separate yourself or cut them completely off. So it's never going to be easy. It may get easy over time, depending on, like I said, depending on who you are as a person. But you're going to have to accept the fact that you will lose friends, you will lose family, you will most likely lose a relationship. It happens. That's part of life. It sucks, but that's part of life, though. And ain't nothing wrong with it because you doing it to better yourself, to better your mental state, your health, your sanity, your life, your family's life. And whatever your goal is when it comes to living life, wanting better for yourself and others around you, you have to make that sacrifice. But you have to accept that, though. And that's perfectly fine. It's a lot of people that's not gonna like you.
Mhm.
And we see it all the time, especially in family. Friends, you see it too. Relationships, you see it, but you mainly would see it in family more than anything. You would probably see it in family before you see it anywhere else. But also, you should take that as I don't want to say a lesson, but it can be a lesson to kind of prepare you for the world and what to expect whenever you do get out into the world, especially if you're young. Cam was good, my boy. But yeah, you're gonna lose friends. We all have lost friends and family, and that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with it.
And they may come back later on in life.
Because
Some do.
Yeah, because some people you may outgrow them. Because I'm gonna go into this point, but you may outgrow them. and then some weeks, months, maybe years may go by, and they may end up growing too. And then y'all just pick up where y'all left off. It's just as of right now, I can't be around you, or I have to separate myself from you, or I'm just in a different chapter in my life than you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying you wrong, and I'm not saying I'm wrong. If you my friend or my family, or whatever it is, your relationship to a person, you should be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get mad at you because you want to do better in your life. If anything, I'm going to support you. But hey, bro, I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. Do you? You know, I'm still here. I'm not going to get upset about it. But not everybody think the same way when it comes to that.
No. And most of them, they will not think the same way. They will not pursue that route of being mature.
Mm-hmm. We see it all the time. Now, a question I got is, are you shrinking parts of yourself just to keep certain relationships comfortable?
I used to back in the day, not now.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Back then, especially like teenage and early 20s, yeah, I used to shrink myself and like feel like I had to do certain things, or I had to be a certain way just to keep a friendship or relationship going, even to the point where like even when it came to like disrespect, it could be little or it could be huge, but it usually would be like little disrespect that I would just let slide and laugh it off or whatever, even though it wasn't good for me and I shouldn't have been around it. But yeah, I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got older, I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. I'm not finna continue to tolerate this and let this go on. So, yeah, I used to. I didn't like who I was becoming. I didn't like being that version because I wasn't fully 100% being myself like I should have been. So, a point that I'm gonna bring up that I know some people probably don't like to hear is that it's okay if people outgrow you. You should have to take that as a sign of how can I grow as well. We love to talk about, us outgrowing people, but we don't like to hear people outgrowing us.
And people do outgrow us. And we'll outgrow you.
Yeah, it happens. Cam said that's called maturity. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's called maturity.
People will outgrow you. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. It ain't that they hate you, they don't love you no more. None of that. They will just outgrow you.
And that's fine.
And it's like Prince said, Prince Cam said, that's called maturity. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, some people do get to a level in their life, they're like, well, you know what? I'm at this age now, I need to change a whole lot about my thinking, how I approach a lot of stuff, how I approach life, how I approach people, how I approach my job, how I approach my home.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
That's just life, though.
Yeah. But there's people in this world that have to fit with you. They have to fit because you outgrow them or they outgrow you, whatever the situation may be. But in this situation, them outgrowing you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Why do you get mad?
They get mad.
Like, why do you get mad about it? If that's your friend, your family, your loved one, whoever you're in a relationship with, why are you getting mad because they outgrow you? Or is it because you get in your feelings? I'm not saying you wrong for feeling a certain emotion. You ain't wrong about that. But in some cases, that's what it ends up being. You get too much in your feelings. Friend said, this is exactly what happened to me with my roommate. See? And it happens. It's messed up and it's crazy that happens because it's just like, especially when you got a good heart and you don't look at them as no lesser than you. And you like, bro, we in the same boat. If I'm growing, I would want you to grow as well. But they don't see it that way. Because they stay stagnant in life and want company instead of growing with us. Exactly.
See it right there.
Exactly. Cam said it best. And a lot of people are comfortable living that way. I can't do it personally, but a lot of people like staying that way. So This other question I have is, what's holding you? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What you about to say?
Before you go to the next one. And the thing about it is that, now watch this. You can outgrow your family
Mhm.
because they're trying to hold you in a certain place in your life that you have outgrown in your life.
Or you separate from generational curses and stuff like
And
that.
so they get mad because now you're not like them anymore. Now you're not like uncle, daddy, mama, sisters and brothers anymore. You're different
And
now.
it don't mean you love them any less.
Mm-mm.
You just on a different path than they are. But they get mad at you for it because you're not doing exactly what they doing or what they did years ago or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, because there is certain family members that, you know, they may have a bunch of kids, so they try to put that on you. And just because you don't want to go that way, now they mad at you. Now they try to pressure you into having kids or having to fit with you.
And that I never understood.
I don't get it. I really don't.
What you mean I'm supposed to have a bunch of kids like you? No, I don't.
Or they get mad because you have a job position where you're making a good amount of money for yourself. And it may be easier than what they did back then. Because whether you believe it or not, times are changing. Whether we like it or not, it's changing. There's easier ways to make money on social media and all that. So some of your family or friends may feel threatened by that because you're not doing a 9 to 5, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But there is people in this world that feel that way because you're doing something different. You're not working yourself, you know, to the point you exhausted every day. So they feel threatened by it. But a question, yeah, I don't get it. But a question I have is, what's holding you back from calling people? If you feel like, you know,
But they'll feel like they're leaving behind.
me personally, back then, and sometimes it may linger and creep up on me, um, just because of the bond that I have with people. Like I said, I'm human, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like that I'm 100%, you know, quick to, how can I say this? Not hold on to certain things. I'm human just as much as anybody else is. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. You know, I'd be lying if I be like, no, you know, ain't nothing holding me back. For some people, there's nothing holding them back. And hey, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. It's just me right now. There is certain things that I'm learning to let go, and there are certain things that I'm still holding on. But there is a lot of people that have outgrown, and it has shown. And there's people that I surround myself with, like Cam and, you know, my other brothers and my other, you know, friends and family on here that have helped me grow. And we've seen each other grow. And that's how it should be. You should want to come together, see each other, you know, grow and just be better people.
You think,
You think that.
but sometimes people can't. They can't let that side of them go. They can't let that happen. I've been doing it for years. I'm gonna do this to the day I die. I don't know who fed that into your mindset, but no, you don't. No, you don't. Just like you hear some people say, "Well, I got to die with something." No, you don't. People have died of natural causes. I mean, they just naturally passed away.
Yeah.
Didn't have nothing else. No cancer, no heart attack, no stroke, none of that stuff. They just passed away.
Just like Cam said, I agree. Just like when it comes to, I guess you can call them YNs or whatever. When they be like, all I know is, you know, robbing people, this, that, third, whatever, whatever. You telling me there ain't nobody in your life that has steered you in the right direction, that have told you. So you telling me your mother, your father, whoever it is, your grandparents, whoever it is in your life that was a positive influence. You telling me they did not teach you anything good. So this is all you know. It ain't even gotta be just that, just anything in general. And there's other people too that be like, all I know is making, money from just going to 9 to 5. If that's what you choose to do, that's what you choose to do. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But there are other ways to make money. They don't want to expand. They don't want to, grow in a sense. That's what you choose to do. That's what you choose to do. But like, you should hold the people that's close to you that's trying to expand your mind and trying to get you to try new things. Because if they trust you enough and they love you and they want to see you do better in life, they don't want you to stay in the same position and stuff like that. You should want to surround yourself with people like that.
Why would you want to hang around somebody that's maybe smarter than you? I'm not saying they're boasting, they're smarter than you, but they're trying to show you other ways too. Why would you want that?
I love hanging around.
If you don't want to hang around them, why not? Because you feel challenged by them?
That should be a good thing.
Should be a good thing. If you're being challenged, that is a very good thing.
It gets your brain going. It's helping you be creative. What's good, Brittany?
Pastor pray for you all the time, man. He prays for you all the time. He online, he prays for you all the time. He prays for us all the time. Pastor, what's going on? You find out where you are and how much you have grown, and we shouldn't want to stay the same.
Yeah.
We shouldn't want to stay the same.
Yeah.
Now, that's for y'all that don't know, that's a pastor right there. And I guarantee you, he got some stories he could tell you about outgrowing people.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a pastor, I ain't no pastor, but I hang around, grew up around some of them. They outgrow them, not saying in a sense of they are better than them because they're pastors. It's because they're not going in the same direction.
Mm-hmm. There is a point I'm gonna bring up a little later that ties into that. But this point that I gotta bring up right now is the people that didn't want you to grow will only see the old you, not the new you.
That's all they see. That's all they see. Man, I remember, man, when you used to be around here, man, I remember you had this woman, that woman. Okay,
Like,
I ain't
that's not me.
like that now.
What? Not me no more.
Yeah, that's not me no more. So you don't see my growth. You see me when you see me, I'm still here. You don't see me, I've got here. All that in between here, you don't see.
They don't want to see it. They don't want to. Because for some people, they look at it like, I need to know what my life. So now I got to view you in the same position as me to make myself feel better.
And just because you ain't do nothing with your life don't mean I got to be like you.
Literally.
Like you hear some parents say, and I wish a lot of these parents would stop saying it. I ain't nothing, so you ain't gonna be nothing. No, I ain't nothing. That means you go be something. If I know I'm not nothing, that means my kids need to be something or be better than me. And be better than their mom.
I'm gonna ask a question that ties into that. Read this first. Cam says sometimes that can be a good/bad thing. If that person hang around people that's doing good, they want to use them instead of growing for themselves. Mm-hmm. That much is true. Mm-hmm. We have seen that happen.
Happen every day.
It happens a lot more than you think. There is people that will use you, just because you're doing good, they feel like, all right, I'm gonna use this person for a little minute so I get where I need to be. Then I'm gonna just cut them off or do whatever I'm gonna do. Which is crazy. Why would you do that?
Which is crazy.
You can build a long-term relationship and bond with this person, a healthy one at that. And y'all can be either become business partners or whatever it is y'all decide to do in life, but you want to do them dirty. I never understood that. It's a crazy mindset. But then you get mad when you do separate yourself from them, from using them, and you try to do, if not the same thing, or do whatever it is you're doing, and it doesn't work out. Now you want to come back to them, and they don't caught on to what you're doing. Now you mad because they separate themselves from you and outgrow you, and they don't move on. What you mad for? You know what you signed up for the moment you used them.
Boom. Right. Yeah.
You knew what you signed up for, so don't act, brand new to it. Don't act shocked whenever they don't want to be around you no more. Some people it take a little longer for them to catch on to it. It just depends on what's going on, if they manipulate you or whatever. But you knew what you signed up for.
Like Pastor said, people sometimes feel afraid when you outgrow them because they don't want to change. They want to stay where they are. And I agree with that. They want to stay where they are. Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they do. That's why they have a problem when people move out, as they call it, the so-called hood. They have a problem with that because, okay, I want my life to be better. Why do I want to stay here if I want my life to be better? And I come back and help out in the hood. But why do I want to stay right here and don't want to change? Come on, man.
Some people get confused. They feel like, you go make it, then you come back. They feel like, oh, you got to stay here now. You got to continue doing, what you used to do. No, I don't. I come here, I help out my community, do what I need to do, and I'm gone.
I'm going back to the house.
I don't need to stay here and get brought back into what was getting me in trouble and all this other stuff. I outgrow that life. That ain't me no more.
That's why they don't see when a lot of gang members get out the gangs and stuff, or the drug dealer change from being a drug dealer. They don't see how they are growing. And to be honest, when they get out of, especially a drug dealer, when they get out of that lifestyle, if they don't have no money saved up, they are working twice as hard now to maintain because they're so used to a certain lifestyle. Gang member get out the game, it ain't all about that no more. Now they see this life over here. I ain't got to be watching my back so much because of somebody trying to take me out.
Yeah.
What's up, James?
What's good, James? He said facts, my brother. Yeah, like even when it comes to like gang related culture and stuff like that, there's certain ones that will see that you changed your life and especially if you trying to get back into the game, all this other stuff, they be like, nah, you doing good in your life. Don't you mess that up.
Yeah, some of them would warn you and help you. Look, don't enter into this. This is like they say, this ain't what you want.
This ain't for you.
This is not for you.
You used to do it, but me as your friend or as your brother or your sister or whoever, I'm not gonna let you go down this path. So let me help you out so you don't do this and get brought back into this. You got out for a reason. Stay that
way. And some of them will have that talk with that brother. Look, this ain't what you want. And you will never ever hear about that conversation. Because it means so dear to him that he's not gonna go out and spread like, yeah, such and such said this, such and such said that. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna take what that brother said and cherish it for the rest of his life. My man told me not to get back in this or get involved in this. I'm gonna cherish that for the rest of my life. And he will spread that news, man.
Yeah.
I said it starts with your mind. You keep doing the same things, you keep getting the same result. Yes, still.
Mm-hmm.
It's insanity. I think that's what they call it.
Yep. This point I gotta bring up is just because you've known someone for years doesn't mean they automatically belong in your future. Shared past doesn't guarantee shared direction. Repeat that again. Just because you've known someone for years doesn't mean they automatically belong in your future. Nope. Shared past doesn't guarantee shared direction. It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
I could have known you for 15 years. That don't mean you belong in my life.
Exactly.
That don't mean I love you any less. It's just we both realize that, hey, you ain't meant to be in my life. Some people are meant to be in your life for a season, a chapter, or for the rest of your life, or a short period of time. It just depends. Not everybody can't go with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is. Everybody can't go with you.
Nope.
Sorry. When you said something about the parents and stuff, I got a question for them. Why do you think some parents don't want their kids to outgrow them?
Well, they want them to be better than them. Because they didn't try to accomplish nothing. So they'll hold their child back. That's sad.
Yeah. Cam said everybody isn't destined to be on the same path, different purposes. Yeah. Everybody's not meant to be on the same path. But like you said, they don't want, parents don't want their child to outgrow them, which is crazy. You can still accomplish things in life at an old age. It might not be some crazy stuff or whatever, things that you probably could have done back in your youth, but you can still accomplish things. But you should want your kids to grow and be better than you. There's nothing wrong with that. My dad and my mom tell me all the time that they want me and my sisters to be better than them. Because you don't know how far that can go and really take, Dad go far with a child. You tell them all the time they're not gonna be nothing, that's gonna stick with them. Some of them break out of that, but that trauma is still there from hearing it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So to any parents out there that do that, stop doing that. Just stop. And then if they get out here and start doing the same things you did, now you want to get upset. Well, I don't know why they doing this and that third. You sure? You sure you don't know why?
Check your circle as a parent. Check your circle. Matter of fact, or you as a parent the one is a hater, as they call it.
It happens. It happens a lot. There are parents that do hate.
Especially with women and their daughter. The daughter might have a better body than they do. In some cases, that parent, that woman will work so hard to try to have a body better than the daughter.
Wild work.
It's your daughter. Why are you in competition with your own child? I would never be in competition with none of my kids, my daughters or my son. For what? For what?
Even there's even competition between your siblings.
Oh,
Family too, just family in general. But even when it comes to siblings or just your friends, for example, me and my brothers Cam, Woody, EJ, RJ, all of them. There is no if there is any competition, it's some friendly stuff, but there's no jealousy among us.
For what?
If you're doing great, I'm happy for you, my boy. Look, hey, you're doing your thing. I'm proud of you. There's no jealousy among us. There never has been. There's been people that's been trying to get that in our heads, but it don't work. Mm-hmm. Because we know how this world moves. We know how people can get it. Once you establish that bond with people, keep them close.
Yeah.
Keep them close. Now,
real close for
real. Because y'all will grow and you will go a long way. But people don't cherish that anymore. They feel they look at it what can I get out of this person right now? Now that I know them, or whatever. What can I get out of them until whatever time period or whatever it is you get out of them? Why you move like that? But this question I got is, am I expecting them to grow in the same direction as me? And is it fair? You repeat again.
Some, I think the Prince said it, and they're not destined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cam said it.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, Prince,
Cam,
either
they're not destined. Well, matter of fact, there it is right there.
Right to be on the same path, different purposes. Yeah. Back then, I'm not even gonna lie. Back then, teenage me and probably my early 20s, when I was 20 or 21, I used to think that if I'm growing, my friend or family is supposed to be growing at the same time as me. That's how I used to think. But as I got older, I was and I started to see it, and I was like, nah, one, that's not fair. And two, everybody's, what's the word I'm looking for? Different chapters in life is not going to happen at the same time as you. Their growth, that's the word I was looking for. It's not going to happen at the same time as you. That character development is not going to happen at the same time. It's possible, don't get me wrong, but that's not always the case. As much as you may want it to happen, as much as you may love this person and you want to grow at the same time, that's not always the case.
Cam said, I feel like some parents don't want their kids to outgrow them due to upbringings. They feel like if they had it rougher than their kids, then they shouldn't do better because of an easier lifestyle.
That still goes on to this day.
Every day, to this very day.
I hear it. I see it on social media. I see it out, in life, just in general. Like, I be hearing conversation because people just be laughing if you put these things out there. But to the point they say, we had it hard, so they gotta learn too. I get that, your kids gotta learn whatever the situation may be, but you don't gotta make it hard for them like it was, back then.
And you're looking at it like, wow.
Yeah, or the kids are taking it upon themselves to learn a different way. They don't have to learn it the exact same way you did. Now that can be it can be a good thing and a bad thing, because there is downsides to it, pros and cons when it comes to that. But we'll say that for a whole other topic. But I gotta bring this up. Like, don't be afraid to have those uncomfortable conversations with yourself and the others in your circle when it comes to like outgrowing people. You're gonna have to learn to have those uncomfortable conversations with yourself and self-reflect, but also have those uncomfortable conversations with people in your circle.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, because you're gonna have to ask yourself some questions. You have to self-reflect. You gotta sit back and think and ask yourself, what do I want to do in my life? Am I doing the right things? Am I growing in any way, shape, or form? And don't overlook the little growths. Please don't. Not everything has to be a huge change in your life, and be considered as growth. Because especially now with social media, people made it to where you got to have something major and extreme and something huge happen in your life to even count and consider that as growth.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works. You have to appreciate, the little things that you've done in your life to grow. So that when you do make, bigger changes or something major does happen in your life that changes your life forever, you'll learn to appreciate it and not overlook the little things when it comes to outgrowing people and, just growing in general.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to appreciate that. But a lot of people don't want to sit down. They don't want to ask themselves or, people in their circle do uncomfortable questions. Because you'll learn a lot about a person too when you have uncomfortable conversations. It'll show you who they really are, who that person is, who they are in your life, what they're really about. Then you know how to move. Which I advise a lot of y'all to do that. Do it in your family, your friendship, relationship, whatever. Do it you. You'll see what I'm talking about. Have certain conversations and see how that person reacts.
Yeah.
Because if you got somebody that's all about drama, all they do is talk about it, all they do is being involved in that, then you know that person likes to be in drama.
That's what they like.
So the best thing for you to do is be like, I love you, I care about you, but I can't be around you.
Mm-mm.
They're gonna be mad. Oh, they're gonna be mad. Trust
me,
they're gonna be mad.
Hot. Well.
But it's like you doing what's best for you. And also, in a way, what's best for them, but mainly what's best for you. Because you don't want to stay in that same position. You don't want to be associated with that. You don't want to be a part of that. So that's what comes with it when you got to grow people.
Every time.
That's perfectly fine. Cam said a lot of minuscule changes equals a big change. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It does. It does. It surely does. But people don't look at it that way.
No.
So even though we kind of already answered this, but I kind of want to dig a little deeper into it. Is why do people feel threatened by you outgrowing
That's a good question
them? Mm-hmm.
because they do. So they're not moving, so they don't want you to move.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sad part about it.
Which this question also ties into it is, do you think they're trying to project themselves onto you, and where do you think that stems from? Now, when I ask that question, you can put as many examples as you want to, because there's many different things where that can stem from.
Mm-hmm.
They can be insecure. It can be, somebody said they upbringing. I think it was either Cam or somebody else that said it.
The upbringing.
Yeah, like it can be multiple things that can be the root cause of why they feel that way, why they doing that.
Yep.
Honestly, I do be feeling like for a lot of people, they do be projecting that onto you. They not growing, so they feel like they gotta put that on you. If I'm still here, I gotta bring you back. I gotta set you back with me and keep you with me in the same position as me. That is insane.
You know how people are. You know how people are.
People gonna be people to the end of time.
End of time.
People gonna be people. That's why when you find your circle, stick close to them. Y'all just keep things on the low, which that ties into it too. Don't tell everybody your business.
Mm-mm.
Just don't tell
Maybe
everybody your
don't.
business.
You don't want your business out there. Best thing you do is keep it to your closest type friends or family. You got to keep it within that tight circle. And that circle is tight.
Because not everybody gonna be happy for you.
No.
And they're gonna look at it like, I'm gonna use like an example. For example, say like a family member was telling me they got like a new job, whatever the case may be, and somebody in our circle would be like, "Oh, they think they better than us. Oh, they trying to outgrow us. I gotta figure out how to set them back or whatever." Like, put that doubt in the head. You sure you want to go there? You sure you want to do this at the third? Blah, blah, blah. It's the difference between trying to look out for a person and trying to hold them back.
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference between that. But Cam said this might be a stretch, but I also think it could be no reason. Yeah. They just didn't self-reflect to even know why they project. I agree with you on that. I don't feel like it could be a stretch, but I strongly agree with you on that. Because for some people, they really don't have no reason. They just do it for the love of the game, which is crazy.
That is crazy for real.
But that is possible. Some people are just built like that. I would like to dig their brain and try to figure out, how that even started. But like you said, some people just do it for no reason. So like I said, they do it for the love of the game. They just love it, so they gonna do it. So this point that I'm gonna bring up is growth can create distance without conflict. You don't always need a big argument or fallout. Sometimes you just slowly stop relating and the connection fades on its own. It happens. You don't always gotta have it don't gotta be no conflict, don't gotta be no argument or, a huge falling out between the both of y'all or multiple people. It can just be slowly fade away from each other. And that's perfectly fine.
Because that does happen.
Mm-hmm. And then y'all can pick up where y'all left off, depending on if they grow or not. Just like when it comes to, friendships or even family, how you can not see a person for a long period of time. And then when you see them, it's like y'all never drifted apart. It's like y'all picked up where y'all left off with. The same thing can happen. It just depends on their mindset and your mindset. Because like I said before, either you can outgrow them or they can outgrow you. So it really just depends. It depends on the conversation y'all have. You can bring up a certain topic and they'll be like, "Dang, you still on that? I thought we don't move past it."
Some of them don't. Some of them still be sitting there with that same topic. Same topic they've been talking about for the past 20 years. So you mean to tell me you hadn't got past that topic for 20 plus years? You still got that same topic running around in your head? That's just a clear indication that you had never dealt with it and never let it go.
You just a lot of people that move like that. It's like you gotta deal with it, you gotta heal from it, self-reflect, do whatever it is you need to do to get past it. You gotta do something.
Mm-hmm.
If you want anything better in your life to happen, you're gonna need it. Because things still can happen for you in your life that can be good, but you're not truly happy for it. You're just pretending to be happy. Which that ties into this is am I evolving or just performing a better version of myself for approval?
In some people's cases, for approval.
Mm-hmm. Me personally, I'm evolving. I'm not gonna sit here and try to perform that because that's exhausting.
Because it just like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all these social media pages. You ever notice how a lot of them run to the social media pages and just spill everything out for validation? Well, this right here don't validate you. You just get a lot of people that will agree with you.
Literally.
That's all it is.
Because eventually, which we talked about this in previous episodes, but eventually that mask can fall off. If you put on a performance and you pretending, that you a better version of yourself or you a good person, whatever the situation is, that mask will fall off because you can't keep it up, right?
What if you didn't have social media? How you get validated then?
Oh, Lord, take it back to the 90s or 2000 before social media became.
So social media is a place where you need validation, and you really might need to check on your own self. No social media will validate you. You just have people that agree with what you say because that's where they're at.
I can't be around a bunch of yes men all the time. I gotta at least be around somebody that's gonna make me question certain things in a good way, at least.
Right.
Because it showed me where your head is at, then I'll be interested in having a conversation with you. Anybody that's sitting here saying that agree with you all the time, it's like
that's a problem.
That's a problem. You telling me everything that I'm doing is you just okay with that, or it's just like, oh, that's good. You're not gonna question it, or be like, I'll rock with it, but you might want to do this, or maybe not do that.
Cam said evolving is part of what makes us men.
Mm-hmm.
Why we gotta perform?
Shake my head. I'm not performing nothing. I'm not, bro. I can't do it.
But in the society that we're in, that's where it has become.
That junk is draining. It's exhausting.
You performing to fit in. You performing to get a bunch of validation on social media. You're performing just to move the crowd. You're performing just to impress this person over here or that family member over here, or trying to make you look like somebody else. You're doing all that performing, then at the end of the day, when you go home, your mind is just totally drained.
Now imagine trying to keep that up for years.
And sooner or later, you're going to break.
Everybody gonna outgrow you. They ain't already doing it.
Yeah.
So this question I have is, why do we feel guilty for outgrowing people?
I guess that's just the human side of us.
Yeah. That humanity side.
Or we feel like we don't want to leave them behind.
We all fell into that. to where we feel like you love them so much to where you start getting in your head thinking, oh, I don't want to leave them behind. I feel like I'm leaving them behind because I'm moving on or I'm doing this. You're not necessarily leaving them behind. You're just doing better in life for yourself.
And that's it.
That's literally it. But us being human, which that's not a bad thing to feel that. It shows that you're human. Ain't nothing wrong with feeling that, but it does happen. Which a lot of people don't have conversations about that.
Mhm.
Like you will feel guilty about it. That's okay. Just don't sit in that for too long, which that ties into this, which is guilt is common, but not always justified. Feeling bad for changing is normal, but staying stuck just keeps others comfortable can hold you back long term. Literally. You being stuck in that just to keep other people comfortable and all can literally hold you back long term. Literally. It's okay to feel that right then and there, but don't linger on that for too long.
Mhm.
Don't do it.
Not too long. When you find yourself by yourself
Mm-hmm.
in a place that you don't even really want to be in.
Yeah.
To the point where you be saying, man, why everybody hating on me?
Some people like that. It's crazy though. It's like everybody ain't hating on you. You're just in that mindset that you feel like everybody's hating on you. Everybody hating on you.
Mhm.
You just stuck.
If somebody's in your head that much, then it goes right in what I'm gonna be talking about after this. Who has power over you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they constantly in your mind, man. Somebody got some power somewhere over you.
Mm-hmm.
You just handed them the power. There you go.
If you getting upset by an image of them, their name, or just the slightest thing that can remind you of a person, whatever. Yeah, that means they got some control over you in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere.
You that bothered?
By them? See where you at mentally.
Mm-hmm. But this last point, don't bring up is you can care about someone and still outgrow them. Outgrowing doesn't mean you stop loving or respecting them. It just means the relationship no longer fits who you are now.
True.
That's all that is. You still care about them. You still, love them. You don't love them no less. You still respect them as a person, depending on whatever it is they got going on. There's something crazy and bad. Yeah. That's a discussion for another topic. But yeah, it just means the relationship no longer fits you and who you are now. Which that's okay. A good comment. She said, I truly agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't stop loving them. You still got love for them. You still show them love and all that. You just don't hang around them no more. That's perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
I don't get pressed if, my friends, family, whoever outgrow me or, whatever they got going on, they like, I don't get pressed about it. I'm happy for them. I want that for you. If anything, that'll motivate me and push me to be like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let me lock in. Let me tighten up real quick. Let me lock in real quick. That's how it should be. I'm not gonna be feeling threatened by it. You know what? They can do it and I can do it. I'm not trying to go for the same thing they trying to go for it. But they give me that drive and that ambition to go for whatever it is I want to do in life. That's what you gotta do.
Exactly.
That's what you gotta be around. But what you got coming up, man?
Saying like the stream froze. No, we be right back on Real Talk Conversations. Be talking about who has power over you. So we'll be talking about next. Because it's a lot of people that have power over you. Whether you know it or not, you had given them that power.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you know it or not, you have given them that power. You have literally took it and said, there you go. There's a lot of people living in people's head rent free. A lot of people talk about prison. They don't never talk about the prisons in their mind. You're locked up in that head. If somebody is in your head that much, and you want to do everything to destroy them, everything to bring them down, everything to stop them, then they got some power over you. I would never give anyone that type of power over me.
You got that much hate in your heart towards the person.
You can whatever you decide. You're not gonna be in my head like that. My younger days, yeah. Now, but guess what? When I lay down and close my eyes and I say my prayer, and I lay there,
that's it.
I'm going to sleep in peace. I'm not gonna have somebody run around in my head. I'm going to sleep in peace. So that'll be coming up at 6:15. You're not busy, come on back.
Yeah.
Like, bro, man, you're gonna get your sandwiches.
Yeah.
Party.
Get you a drink, get you a snack, come back. No.
Come on back and hey, bro, man.
But yeah, as far as me, slowly getting back in the groove of doing this again. You know, I've been away for a good little minute, health stuff, and been working on some other stuff. As y'all have seen, if you ain't seen the video that I did post on here, I am working on an anime that I'm trying to write and actually bring to life on the big screen at some point in time. It will be involving sickle cell and stuff like that. So that's what I've been working on. For those of y'all that didn't know. So yeah, I'm working on anime. I'm working on the anime. I have been having conversations with some people who've been trying to figure this stuff out because a good majority of this I am doing by myself, but I'm having some people help me along the way and figure this stuff out with me and pretty much teaching me this stuff because I don't know everything about this. I'm still learning. That the dancing videos, everything else I normally do, but I will try to get back to being on here consistently. Y'all may see videos from other platforms being brought over here that I have already done, and some new ones that I am doing. Just just let you know, get your heads up. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for being appreciate the prayers. I appreciate love and everything. Y'all checking up on me. Y'all hitting up my dad and all this stuff, and make sure he good, make sure we good. So we do appreciate that. We appreciate the love. We appreciate y'all for being here, share your opinions, your thoughts when it comes to these topics that we do, because it is needed, and you never know who it may help. So that's why we have these topics, because it is needed. We slowly get back into the groove of having guests come on here. If you want to come on, let us know. We have a discussion about it. If there's a certain topic you want us to cover, as long as it's nothing crazy or nothing negative, and we'll do that too. Whether you want to be on the episode or if you just want us to cover it, let us know. We still don't figure out the day to where we can have people come on here and shout out their business and stuff like that. Whatever it is you're doing, it could be a small business, your social media, whatever, and stuff like that. We will figure out the day on when we're going to do that. But we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We thank y'all. Be sure to come back at what time?
6:15.
All right, 6:15. But we love y'all.
I gotta miss this camera. I don't know what's going on with the camera, but
Yeah, that's why we talk about something positive. But we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We thank y'all. Stay focused, stay positive, smile, and as always, be smooth with it. We out.